Hello and welcome back to the third season of What's in a Story, titled Narratives of Nature and Environment of South Asia. I am Lopamutra Moitro, and in this podcast I read the stories from my books as an anthropologist, writer and translator working with popular culture and heritage of India and South Asia. In my podcast here, I read stories from my books which are about folklore, myths and legends of India and South Asia, and I introduce each story with some additional information from different fields of history, archaeology, geology and others, which helps to bring a context to the story. However, it is also important to mention that the information should be studied well and understood within specific socio-cultural, religious, political or historical contexts. Most of these stories from folklore took shape across a wide range of time through centuries. And over a period of time, many features and aspects were added to the narratives, giving the shape that we come across in present times. Thus, before taking these stories as historical proof, one should be careful enough to analyze the historical context of the essence of each story. Let's try to take the positive message through these stories as we proceed with Season 3, the narratives of nature and environment of South Asia. Here, I would like to take the message forward from Season 2 of Water Narratives of South Asia and read stories which speak of the various interactions between man and nature and of stories of preserving and conserving the nature around us. Without the beautiful nature that surrounds us, we will perish sooner or later. And frankly speaking, aren't we already experiencing the grim pictures of what global warming has created all around us? Say, like rampantly cutting down trees, creating havoc across river banks and deltas, or the horrific littering of plastic waste on river banks and beaches, which has only resulted in destroying flora and fauna and choking up so many aquatic lives around us, destroying green covers massively to build concrete structures, polluting fresh water, creating a shortage of drinking water, and the list just seems to go on and on. However, fortunately, many people are also working tirelessly to combat the situation. But it just never seems to be enough. We have already lost a lot of valuable wealth, and it's time to listen to the clarion call, for there is only one earth, and that's all we have. Here's wishing a positive thought is shared through each story of this season, the third season of What's in a Story, titled Narratives of Nature and Environment of South Asia, follows the story of the next episode in Season 3 of What's in a Story. About the story, Khichan's Demoiselle cranes and a true reflection of Atithi Devo Bhava. In Sanskrit, meaning a guest is akin to God. I read this story from my book, The Owl Delivered the Good News All Night Long, Folktales, Legends and Modern Lore of India by Aleph Book Company. The original story is in Marwari and it was written in English by Jeetu Mishra, archaeologist and historian from Orissa. The story primarily concerns two specific regions of India, Rajasthan, a western Indian state, and Orissa, an eastern Indian state. The Thar Desert is located in Rajasthan, the state of Rajasthan in India. Situated on a major trade junction from the times of medieval India, the Thar desert of Rajasthan has been a stronghold of Jainism for over 100 years. However, by the beginning of the 20th century, as trade diminished, large numbers of Jain merchants moved out in search of work to places as far off as Chennai, in southern India, Mysore, also in southern India, Kolkata, in eastern India, Delhi, in northern India, and Mumbai, in western India. The roads of Khichan have several palatial havelis, the local name for very grand structures, houses, very grandly made, which have been abandoned and left behind. Sometimes the residents pay an annual visit during the Chaumas for a couple of months. Today, Ratan Lal Ji is a legendary figure in the region, as he alone has taken care of the conservation of thousands of Demoiselle cranes that come to the sleepy village of Khichan every winter from time immemorial. It was because of Ratan Lal's dedication and vision that the cranes got the food they needed in the Chugga Ghar, that is the feeding house, and therefore did not ravage the farmlands of the Khichan farmers and the surrounding villages. As a result, they have become guests who are received warmly, a true reflection indeed of Atithi Devo Bhava. The story, Khichan's Demoiselle Cranes and a true reflection of Atithi Devo Bhava. As dawn breaks over the sleepy village of Khichan during the winter months, the palatial havelis wake up from their deep slumber to the chaotic crock-crock calls of thousands of Demoiselle cranes in the skies above. The scene appears spectacular for visitors, but for the villagers, it is just another morning of celebrating life with the winged visitors during the winter months every year. These are migratory birds, the Demoiselle cranes. Every year, towards the end of August, just after the monsoon rains have ceased, they fly in flocks from their breeding grounds on the plains and steppes of Eurasia and Mongolia to the Thar desert in India. All of a sudden, the sleepy village of Khichan is transformed into a chaotic, noisy place. The birds descend upon the village to feed and rest throughout the day, only to retire for the night on a nearby mound. The next morning, the cranes are back again. A large space has been demarcated and fenced to feed the cranes every morning. Every day throughout the season between November to February, 500 kilograms of grains are spread on the ground for the birds to feed upon. This is all paid by donations from the Jain community in the village. After the cranes have had their breakfast, they gather beside a pond. The story of Khichan's association with the migratory birds is ancient, but their conservation effort is only 5 decades old and has a connection with the eastern Indian state of Orissa. It all started with Ratanlal Malu's uncle, who was originally from Khichan but had settled down in Orissa. One day, he left Orissa for Khichan along with Ratanlal Malu to take care of his aging grandmother, who was ailing and had recently celebrated her 100th birthday. Little did either of them know at that time that the decision of returning to their roots would change not only Ratanlal's life but also the lives of thousands of innocent birds. Once in Khichan, Ratanlal found it difficult to sit idle, and his uncle entrusted him with a job, that of feeding grains to pigeons, sparrows and peacocks that frequented a particular place on the outskirts of the village. Being devout Jains, both Ratanlal and his wife liked the idea. They carried sackful of grains to the feeding ground and distributed them amongst the birds. Initially, there were only squirrels, sparrows, pigeons, and occasionally peacocks. But one fine day in September, he saw for the first time a dozen of large black and grey birds feeding. On inquiring, the villagers told him that they were migratory birds that frequent Khichan every winter. They were called Demoiselle cranes or Kurja in Rajasthani, the local language. Ratanlal started observing them closely. Their numbers increased to 80 by November, but by February, all of them had disappeared overnight. He had to wait for another year. This time, their number was around 150 or so. This number kept on increasing, and at present there is a staggering number of more than 25,000 cranes who frequent the area and feed and reside during the migratory season. In the initial stages, it was not an easy task for Ratanlal. As the number of cranes increased, often the village dogs would attack the cranes, leaving the cranes either dead or badly injured. To protect the birds, Ratanlal first convinced the village panchayat to allocate a suitable space on the outskirts of the village. Later, he coaxed the local people from the Jain community to help him build a 6-foot-high fence. The enclosed area was called the Chugga Ghar, or the feeding home. Ratanlal then got a granary made to store grains with donations that started pouring in from members of the Jain community of the village. He also got a room constructed to treat the injured cranes. Today, in the winter months, standing on a nearby terrace besides the Chugga Ghar at the break of dawn, one can witness a beautiful spectacle. Flocks of Demoiselle cranes marching towards the Chugga Ghar. Apart from being a spectacular display of wildlife, it is associated with a spiritual connection aptly described by the Sanskrit phrase Atithi Devo Bhava. A visitor is like God. After they have been fed, the cranes head off to the nearby lake Vijayasagar. Here, they can be seen gobbling copious quantities of pebbles that are found in abundance on the lake shore. A strange habit it may seem, but this process aids digestion. Since the grains are eaten whole, the pebbles act as a digesting agent. Just before sunset, the cranes call it a day and fly away to Malhar Rim, a sand dune about 25 kilometers away from Khichan, where they spend the night standing on one leg. The next morning, these beautiful birds are back in Khichan.